Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss any update from Tech Primers.
In this video, we are going to see how to create a HTTP server using Vertx in Kotlin. In the previous video, we saw how to create it in Java. In this video, we are going to create the same in Kotlin. If you're familiar with Kotlin, you can understand this particular video. If you're not familiar with Kotlin, do check out my videos on how to learn Kotlin and the Kotlin basics. Then you should be able to understand Kotlin better. So let's get started by creating the project using Intellij. I'll create a new project. I'm going to create a Maven project, but from the arch type, I am going to create a Kotlin project. Let's search for the Kotlin arch type. Yeah, so we have Kotlin here, and I'm going to create it for the JVM, not the JavaScript. So let's do that. And I'm creating the version 1.1.61. The group ID for this project is com tech primers Vertx because we are creating a Vertx project. Kotlin Vertx example. Finally, the arch type has created the skeleton for our Kotlin project. If you see in the POM XML, this just looks exactly like a Java project, but it can run on Kotlin using the Kotlin runtime. And you can see the Java dependencies for the Kotlin. So basically, these can run on the JVM, but we will be writing Kotlin code. Let's go to the structure. So we have the Kotlin file, the hello.kotlin. In order to use Vertx, we are going to use the Vertx dependency. If you're not familiar about Vertx, do check out my video on what is Vertx as well, so that you can get a idea about what is Vertx. I'm going to use the artifact Vertx web, and the group ID would be io.vertex. So the version number would be 3.5.1. These are the configurations required for adding Vertx into our project. Vertx is a library, so we can just add it like any other dependency, and then we can just start off with it. Let the hello world be there. So in order to use Vertx, you guys know we are going to use Vertx dot Vertex. So this is the static method which is available in the interface Vertx. We are going to use it to get a Vertex instance. So this is going to create a Vertex instance, and that's it. And I'm just going to call it as Vertex. In order to create a HTTP server, we have to use this Vertex and create it. We can do a Vertex dot create HTTP server. This will create a HTTP server for us, and let's call it as HTTP server. Now, in order to start up the HTTP server, we need to start up this HTTP server on a port. So we need to say listen. It can listen on a port. I'm just going to use 8091. This is the port which I'm going to use. Also, we need to create routes because I need to register some endpoints into the server and I need to access them, right? So in order to do that, we have to create routes. So we have to create a router, and using the router, we have to create routes. These are something similar to the REST endpoints, and registering them to the controller. These are called as routes in Vertx. Let's create these routes. We need to create a router. In order to create a router information, I'll just call it as router. From the router, you can create any number of routes. If I just say route, it will by default enable HTTP method for everything. So basically, I can do a get and it will be called here. If I do a post, it will be called here. So if I don't specify any HTTP method, we can directly use the route option and we can get everything working. So let's try using one. Once we do the route, we need to add some handlers where we can write some code to do some processing. I'm going to add the handler which we the argument for this particular handler would be routing context. You can see that. So from the routing context, we can use the request and response, and we can manipulate the data. So let's try doing something with the routing context. From the routing context, we need to get the response, and the response needs to be modified because we need to send some response back to the user or the source which triggered it. So let's use the object response and just let's try storing it in a variable called response. So I'm just getting the response and storing it in an object called response. In the response object, now I'm going to do some write operation. We can do a write of hi, let's say, right? And this will be sent back to the UI. And finally, I'm just going to end it. So I'm going to end saying ended. Meanwhile, I will say hi YouTube \n, right? So these both will be sent to the user, whoever has triggered it, right? Now, in order to send this information back, we need to add some headers as well into the response, right? So we can add a put header. We can just add a put header, and we can add something, for example, content type. I'll just say the content type is text slash plain, because it's a plain text message which we are sending. And also I need to set the chunked data, because I need to tell the Vertx server that I can send information any number of times. So because we are doing a write and end, there are two uh, strings which we are pushing into the response. So I'm just going to say send this as chunked information. By default the set chunked is false, so I'm just trying to enable it. Okay, so while creating the router, we forgot to mention the Vertx, because from the Vertx instance we need to create the router, right? So that's why the IntelliJ was complaining about that. I've just fixed that now. So that's it, right? So this will be like a index. So since I didn't give any path here, by default if I hit the Vertex server, this will be hit. So any URL if I hit, this particular information will be executed. So basically the handler which is registered to the route will be executed, and we can register to different routes. We are going to see that now. Meanwhile, in the HTTP server, we have to stick this router. We created the router from the Vertex instance. However, we need to attach that to the HTTP server. We can do that by request handler and passing the routes. I'll just pass the router, and I'll just say accept this particular router with the HTTP request which we have here. So by default, I'm just going to use the object reference to pass the accept function. So this will now register the router onto the HTTP server, which is listening on the port 8091. If let's say I want to do something on this port and I want to check if the port is up and running, you can do that as well. Meanwhile, I'm just going to directly run this. Let's run this program. So this should start a HTTP server, and we should be able to hit any endpoint, and we should be able to see hi YouTube and the ended message. And this is running on 8091, so we should be going to localhost 8091. The server is up now. We should be able to go to the browser and hit the localhost 8091 port. Let's do that. 8091. This should return me hi YouTube and ended. Yep, I can see that here. So basically this came here. So we have the Vertex instance which is using the HTTP server, and it is running using the Kotlin code. It runs on the JVM because it's the JDK, because Kotlin can run on JVM or the JavaScript, and we selected the JVM project, so it is running on the JVM. Now I want to make some minor changes to this particular route. I want to do get operation, and I want to do a response with the JSON. So what I will do is I'll just modify this guy. Instead of the route, I'll just say get of let's say slash, and I'll add one more route here, get of JSON, and I want to send some JSON information back to the UI. So let's see how to do that, right? So we have the routing context again, and from the routing context we have to do the same operation. We'll just do the response. We'll just create a so from the response object we need to now add the header saying content type as JSON. We'll just say application slash JSON, because that is the type of response which we are going to send. Same way we are going to say is chunked as true. Also, the message which we are going to write That's what matters now, right? So we are going to pass the JSON message. In order to send the JSON message, I need a data class. So basically I need a model. So in Kotlin, we can create a data class directly. So I'm just going to create a data class. I'll just say data class. I'm going to say response object, right? And the parameters are, I'll just say name. I want only the name. I'll just say var name, and this is going to be a string, and I'll pass some default value as empty so that it doesn't fail anywhere. Now I need to pass this response object onto the right here. In order to do that, I can just do response object and pass the name. So what is the name of the object? Let's say YouTube, and we need to pass this as a buffer. In order to do that, we need to use the utility JSON dot encode prettily. This is the utility provided by Vertx in itself, where we can push the model into the response as a JSON message. So that's what we are doing here. And finally, we need to end this particular guy, right? I'll just do a end. I don't need semicolon in Kotlin. Right, so that's it. We are having two different REST endpoints now. One is the slash and one is the slash JSON. Slash will give the plain text. Slash JSON is going to push the JSON information, which we are passing here as a response object with the variable called name and the value as YouTube. Let's restart the server now and let's see what happens. Is it working really? The server is up. Let's hit the 8091. We should be able to still see this message. Yeah, we are able to see this message. Now we need to hit the slash JSON in order to see the JSON information. I'm just hitting the slash JSON and you can see that I get a response saying names colon YouTube. So this is the response which we get from the server because we are pushing the JSON as YouTube. If I need to pass some dynamic information, I can do that. I can just pass the name here. What I'll do is I'll just pass the name here. So you can do that in Vertx by doing colon name. Like how we got the response here, we can use the routing context dot request object, and from the request object we can do a get param and we can retrieve the name from that. I'll just store it in name, and this name I'll just pass it to the response object here. So that way, whatever object I pass, it's going to add a, let's add some hi, right? Hi message, hello. I'll just say hello. I'll just add a hello along with the name. So that is the message which is going to come in the JSON. Let's restart the server. So these are nothing but path parameters. So this is how you can pass the path parameter. And let's refresh this guy. Now it should fail because it expects a path parameter because slash JSON doesn't exist. Let's try passing tech primers. They should say hello tech primers. Yep, we got the message back. If I just say hello Sam, it should say hello Sam. Yeah, you see that? So this is how you can respond with a JSON message. We can use the utility JSON dot encode prettily and pass some model, and that gets converted into a JSON and then pushed to the UI. So this is how you can use Vertx in the Kotlin project. So if you're using Java, you can take a look at my other video where I have shown how to create it in Java. If you're familiar with Kotlin, this is how you do it in Kotlin. Most of the Android developers are using Kotlin, and if you're familiar with Vertx and you want to leverage the reactive programming using Vertx, then definitely you can use this way of using HTTP servers with Kotlin. I have not shown the exact reactive framework part, but we can see that in the next video. I hope you got what we did in this particular video. We used the Vertx API to create a Vertx instance. We created a HTTP server. Using the Vertx instance, we created a router. In the router, we registered different paths or resources, and we handle those resources using the handler implementation, where we can get the response and manipulate the response and then push it back. And even we can use the path parameter to read those from the request. And finally, we registered the router onto the HTTP server, which is listening to a port. So this is how we can use Vertx inside a Kotlin. If you like the video, go ahead and like it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to it. Meet you again in the next video. Thank you very much.